Who's going to give Islam problems? Get me at 170. Get me at 170.
We'll get you back on the Maccas.
Nah, look, again, feel bad for JDM.
Me, I would say Islam Makhachev versus Carlos Pratis next. And of course, that's a great fight for Islam Makhachev because Carlos has been taken down by Ian Gary. He got taken down tonight by Leon Edwards. And he would get taken down once again and probably finished by Islam Makhachev. But hey, the man has got the equalizer. He does have the power.
Ilya's watching this fight going, maybe I don't want to fight Islam. Ilya probably is confident he can go out there, knock him out though. After his run right now, damn, they just make it look easy. Conor versus Islam.
He was messed up because he couldn't switch the way he wanted to, so it screwed up his rhythm. So no, those calf kicks played a big factor in him, and I don't think he was as prepared for the Islam Makhachev that came at him. You know, I don't think they didn't respect his striking, at least that's what they said. And I don't know if that was the game plan for us to want to stand with him.
Just hours after Islam's dominant performance, top UFC names are already revealing jaw-dropping plans for his future.
What did you say to Craig Jones after?
I told him, your jiu-jitsu not working. You have to come to Dagestan for 2-3 years.
What did he say?
He started laughing. He told Khabib, I will come Dagestan.
First up is Paddy Pimblett, who was sure JDM would batter Islam, but after Islam's dominant win, he instantly switched his stance. Paddy admitted he knew the moment they stepped in the cage that Islam would out-grapple JDM, and he even called his own prediction wrong. He said JDM's size didn't save him from the brutal beating. Paddy also added that the White House showdown is far away and Islam has plenty of real contenders he should face first.
As soon as I seen him in the cage next to each other and seeing the size, I was like, yeah, Islam will be able to grapple him. I thought that Jack might be a bit too big for him, but he doesn't look like a lightweight fighting a welterweight, does it? Pound for pound, #1 lot. Unbelievable performance. I think he goes down as one of the best ever, me, like, yeah. Yeah, he mentioned the White House, but I think he'll defend his belt before the White House. The White House is until July, is it? Let's see what happens, lad, you never know. Ilya's been saying he wants to go up and fight him, lad, but you've got other contenders there now. Morales, Prates, you've then got Ian Gary if he beats Bilal next week. Shavkat as well, who needs to come back. He's been the #1 contender for about a year. They're all exciting matchups for Islam, lad. The welterweight division at the moment could be becoming more exciting than the lightweight division. I don't think any division has been more exciting than lightweight.
Paddy added that you can't ask for more than seeing two pound-for-pound fighters collide, and Islam's dominance at 170 has been mesmerizing. He also pointed out that Islam's focus now seems locked in, especially with Ilia Topuria loudly pushing for that fight.
Performance to two #1 pound-for-pound fighters in the world and just showing their levels. So all for me is just like, let's see what's happening now with Islam, because is Ilia gonna stick to his word and say he's gonna move up? Or is he going to stick to his other word and say he's going to fight me next? We don't know what's happening, do we? You never know. I could end up fighting Ilya. Could end up finally fighting Justin Gage. I thought it was going to be in Abu Dhabi, but no one knows what's happening, do they? Until Islam decides what he's doing, because I know Ilya's saying he wants to fight him.
Then came Demetrius Johnson, who also pushed hard for an Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria showdown at the White House event. He said Islam's move to 170 speaks volumes about how smart that decision was, and in his opinion, the matchup that makes the most sense now is Islam versus Topuria.
See, now, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I want to see Ilia Topuria versus Islam now. I want to see it even more now. Tom knows I got egos. I just wrestle. Send him to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years and forget. Yeah. And I also think it was a wise decision for Islam to go up to 170. I think it was a smart idea to go up to 170 and fight for the belt.
On the other hand, Islam's manager Ali Abdelaziz has completely different plans for him. Speaking to the media, Ali said Islam has no reason to move back down to lightweight and that fighting anyone outside the 170 division makes no sense now. He expressed full confidence in Islam's ability to stay active for the next few months. And while many fans want the Topuria fight, Ali believes Kamaru Usman is the opponent Islam truly deserves. He praised Usman's strong run and insisted there's no better matchup for Islam at this moment, while reminding everyone that Islam is staying at 170.
For the White House, or is the White House the #1?
Doesn't matter. We're gonna talk with the UFC and we're gonna see what's next. Now he doesn't have to cut this much weight. He can fight every 3-4 months. no problem.
So we're gonna see him at 170 from now on?
Yes, this is his weight division. He's not going down to 155.
Last question. If you could pick somebody right now tonight to challenge him next, who would you pick?
He said it. He said he want to fight Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is 15 fight winning streak, 5 title defenses, greatest welterweight of all the time. Beating all these young guys. What does that do for his legacy? He don't do nothing for his legacy. Kamaru Usman, it's a very tough opponent, and I represent him too. And it's not an easy night for anybody. Kamaru Usman is a real deal, and he want to fight the real deal.
Meanwhile, a completely different take came from Sean O'Malley, who was watching Islam dominate JDM live. To him, Islam absolutely smashed JDM, stiffing him, out-grappling him, and beating him so convincingly that JDM's face told the whole story. O'Malley said that if Ilia was watching, he must be thinking twice about fighting Islam. And even though he acknowledged Ilia's confidence in knocking Islam out, O'Malley still insisted that the fight that should happen next is Conor McGregor versus Islam.
Back of the head, DQ, JDM, and still. What the hell, dude? Fucking Dylan Dennis already got smacked by John Pork in the back of the head, and now Islam's slapping him, JDM. 3 minutes left, round 5. JDM's face says it all. That's how I feel right now. Anybody's fight, who wants it more? A minute left, 2-2, going to the 5th. God, I wonder if Ilia's watching this fight going, fuck. Maybe I don't want to fight Islam. Ilia probably is confident he can go out there, knock him out though. After his run right now, damn, they just make it look easy. Conor versus Islam.
Despite that, O'Malley also admitted that the fight which makes the most sense right now is Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. In his view, Topuria has the skill set closest to matching Islam's, and he's genuinely curious to see how Islam handles Ilia's style. O'Malley noted that Ilia still needs one more big win to secure a title shot, but whoever he faces next, O'Malley wants Ilia to win so the matchup with Islam becomes unavoidable. He believes if that fight happens, it will be a lot closer than people expect.
Alright guys, Islam gets the job done, beats Jack Della Maddalena. The next fight it's gotta be Ilia. Ilia's gotta go out there and beat Justin Gaethje. He's gotta go out there and beat Patty. Whoever he beats, he's gotta go out there and get the job done. But Ilia, I'm so curious if Islam can do this to Ilia. Ilia, he matches that skill set. And I just feel like it would be a lot closer of a fight than Jack versus Islam was. That's the fight you have to make. That's the fight that should have made this time, but they didn't. But that's okay. Islam got the job done. Ilia, it's like even if he's going against Patty, it's like I don't know who I got. I want to see Ilia win his next fight just so we can see Islam versus Ilia. That would be the biggest, most skillful fight of all time.
Another fighter who has also lost twice to Islam, Alexander Volkanovski, weighed in as well. He believes he still has the potential to challenge Islam and give him problems. Reacting to the JDM fight, he expressed his condolences, saying he feels for JDM after such a brutal beating and praised Islam's elite-level grappling. Volkanovski also shared that he wants a 170-pound fight against Islam, confident that despite his 2 losses, he still has what it takes to compete at the top.
Who's gonna give Islam problems? Get me at 170. Get me at 170.
We'll get you back on the Maccas.
Nah, look again, feel bad for JDM. I feel for him. Obviously, you don't get much better dudes than Jack. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Michael Bisping also shared his thoughts on Islam's future opponents. Looking at Ian Gary, Michael Morales, and Carlos Prates, he feels that despite Ian Gary's potential, he's not ready or eager to face Islam. In Bisping's view, Carlos Prates is the fighter who should step up next, citing his skill set, massive fan following, and his great performance against Leon Edwards, where he completely outclassed him. For Bisping, Prates is clearly the best option for Islam right now.
Who do you want to see him fight next? Is he going to be Morales, or is he going to be Prates, or is he going to be Ian Gary? I'll tell you what, out of those 3, it all depends what Ian Gary does, right? And the reason I say that is because even if Bilal wins, he just lost, and I don't think he wants to fight Islam anyway. But even if Bilal beats Ian Gary, I don't think he's going to be the #1 contender. I don't think he's going to get a title fight that quickly. So it comes down to Michael Morales or Carlos Prates. They're the 2 guys. Carlos Prates has got a tremendous amount of following and hype around him. The man's fun. He doesn't give a damn. He likes to party. He smokes cigarettes. He knocks everybody out, okay? And he just flatlined Leon Edwards. So for me, I would say Islam Makhachev versus Carlos Pratis next.
Despite Carlos Prates' loss to Leon Edwards, Michael Bisping believes he could be a perfect matchup for Islam Makhachev. He explained that in his eyes, Prates is the best equalizer, and if the fight happens, it could be a great test for Islam. Bisping stressed that even acknowledging Prates' loss, he still sees him as having a real chance to challenge Islam.
Islam Makhachev versus Carlos Pratis next, and of course, that's a great fight for Islam Makhachev because Carlos has been taken down by Ian Gary. He got taken down tonight by Leon Edwards, and he would get taken down once again and probably finished by Islam Makhachev. But hey, the man has got the equalizer. He does have the power.
Adding to the conversation, Robert Whittaker also weighed in. He was impressed by the UFC 322 card, noting that every fighter delivered and Islam Makhachev showcased pure domination. Robert discussed possible opponents for Islam, including Michael Morales, Ian Gary, and Carlos Prates. But he also emphasized that no one really knows what will happen next.
It's so hard to say who he fights next because both welterweight fights put on a spectacle.
I know.
They put on a show. And honestly, it could be a flip of the coin. Like in a perfect world, in a world of rules and regulations, the higher ranked guy would just get the fight. Both guys put on an excellent showing. But what actually happens, who knows? Does anybody guess?
Either you have Michael Morales versus Islam Makhachev, or you have Michael Morales versus Carlos Pratis for the #1 contender fight. But then I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, hold on, if Carlos Pratis wins and Ian Gary beats Bilal Muhammad, how is that fair to Ian Gary because he just beat Carlos Pratis? Welterweight is crazy, and not to mention Kamaru Usman and Shavkat Rakhmonov are just lurking in the wings. I don't know what you do. This division's stacked, bro. It's crazy.
And not to mention, Islam just asked for a White House fight.
He also mentioned that Islam is aiming for a fight on the White House card, which is huge, but overall, Robert admitted that he doesn't have all the answers.
Islam just asked for a White House fight. You know, who do you put him against for a card that big, monumental? I don't know. I do not have the answers.
Javier Mendez, speaking on Islam Makhachev's dominant performance, noted that JDM was 100% badly hurt and injured during the fight. He also blamed JDM for coming unprepared, stating that he really should have prepared better. Mendez pointed out that JDM's camp had been underestimating Islam's striking, but now after seeing it for themselves, it's clear that Islam has proven he's not just the best grappler, but also an excellent striker.
Kicks, you know, and basically he switches really well, but on this one here, he was messed up because he couldn't switch the way he wanted to, so it screwed up his rhythm. So no, those calf kicks played a big factor in him, and I don't think he was as prepared for the Islam Makhachev that came at him. You know, I don't think they didn't respect his striking. At least that's what they said. And I don't know if that was the game plan for us to want to stand with him, but Usman, I mean, Islam is Islam is a great striker, you know, and now he proved it.
Meanwhile, after Islam Makhachev's dominant victory over Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322, Ilia Topuria took to X to deliver a harsh critic of both fighters. He criticized Jack for needing an entire camp just for wrestling and labeled him a disappointment, suggesting he should go elsewhere to improve. Topuria also slammed Islam, saying he lacks emotion and is one of the most boring fighters in the game. He ended his post by signaling that he is confident in his ability to defeat Islam, clearly positioning himself as the next contender at 170. Speaking on this, Javier Mendez made his stance clear, reminding everyone that Islam is not swayed by the social media tactics Topuria is using. He emphasized that he prefers to know Islam's own decision on who wants to fight next. If Islam is fine with facing Topuria, they will go for it. If he has other options in mind, his choice will come first. At the same time, Mendez made it clear that one thing is certain: Islam Makhachev now wants a White House showdown, regardless of who the UFC decides to put in front of him next.
Kicks, you know, and basically he switches really well, but on this one here, he was messed up because he couldn't switch the way he wanted to, so it screwed up his rhythm. So no, those calf kicks played a big factor in him, and I don't think he was as prepared for the Islam Makhachev that came at him. You know, I don't think they didn't respect his striking. At least that's what they said, and I don't know if that was the game plan for us to want to stand with him. But Usman, I mean, Islam is Islam is a great striker, you know, and now he proved it.
And there's a lot of talk going on right now. I know the fight just ended. Obviously, we had the Carlos Pratis KO, we had the Michael Morales KO. Ilia Topuria is going on X right now. He's talking a lot of trash about Islam Makhachev, about the fight tonight. In your eyes, like, what would you like to see next?
I would like to see what Islam wants. If Islam wants Ilya, then that's what we take. If he wants somebody else, that's what we take. But then the UFC makes the final decision, right? Whatever the UFC is going to give us, Islam's going to take, but he wants the White House.
So, here we are. Islam Makhachev has once again reminded the UFC world why he's considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. His performance at 170 pounds was nothing short of spectacular, combining flawless grappling, precise striking, and tactical intelligence. Every move he made in the octagon showcased complete control, leaving his opponent struggling to respond at any point. Islam didn't just win, he made a statement. The 170-pound division has never looked as dominated by a single fighter, and fans and analysts alike are now wondering who could possibly challenge him next.
I think that there's not really a wrong answer with Jack. I think if you put him against a Kamaru Usman, if you put him against an Ian Machado Gary, or against a Carlos Prates, I think that, like, really, when you look at this whole welterweight picture, there aren't a whole lot of wrong answers with who you can match these guys up with, because there are so many exciting fights to make. You look at, we're going to talk, I'm sure, about Michael Morales and Prates, and there are so many fun matchups for both of them that, like, you know, right now the UFC, Dana White said this in his post-fight press conference, it's a very good problem to have, because there are just an absolute potpourri of great welterweight fights that they can make from here. It's almost like you're at the buffet.
The conversation around Islam's next opponent is heating up, and it's clear that expectations are higher than ever. With his recent victory, Islam has cemented his position at 170 pounds, and the idea of him moving back down to lightweight seems almost impossible. The UFC landscape of this division is stacked with talent, but Islam has proven that he's a step above. Analysts are emphasizing that any fight he takes now needs to match his skill, popularity, and potential to deliver an exciting matchup for fans.
Who is next for Islam Makhachev? Arman Sarukian still suspended after knocking some bloke out in the crowd, or at least swinging for him. If he can't fight till January, Islam has a fight in between. Michael Chandler even went as far to say that he was offered the fight, but he's still holding out for this fantasy fight that he thinks he's still going to fight Conor McGregor. Most worthy contender right now is Max Holloway. Gaethje was holding out for a title shot, so if you're Max Holloway, it definitely makes sense. I don't know how he would go against Islam. I think Islam dominates that fight. Would you rather see Max Holloway fight Ilia Topuria, or would you rather him fight Islam? I'd rather him fight Topuria first, because that's his weight division, and he kind of needs vengeance after losing to Volk in that division. Close that chapter of your career, just be an established lightweight. The fact that you beat Gaethje enables you to have that big matchups in the lightweight division.
Strategically, Islam has shown that he's not just a grappling specialist. His striking has improved tremendously, giving him a versatile toolkit that makes him extremely hard to game plan against. Fighters who may have assumed they could avoid his ground game are quickly realizing that his ability to control the fight on the feet is just as dangerous. This combination makes Islam a uniquely difficult opponent, and is part of why the discussion about his next matchup is so intense.
Very impressive stuff from Makhachev, moving up a division, out-grappling the higher level guy. I think grappling might be the big transition. Striking doesn't always work. But we always talk about lighter man skill, but grappling is the difference. In men's MMA, at least. We'll get to the co-main event in a second. Makhachev dominated JDM over 5 rounds. Can make a quick turnaround. I don't know if you can just do Makhachev versus any old random guy, or an Usman that's 1-3 in his last 4 fights. Like, it's at the point now where Makhachev's at GOAT status. That's what this fight represented. That's what becoming a double champion represented. Makhachev's in the GOAT conversation. Not top 10, not top 5, he's there.
Beyond just the skills, Islam's focus has been crystal clear. He's actively seeking the biggest challenges and the most high-profile fights. The idea of headlining a major card, such as a potential White House event, is now firmly on his radar. This isn't just about defending a title, it's about proving dominance in the division and making a statement to the entire MMA world. His team has also emphasized that his choice of next opponent will be guided by what challenges him the most, not just by promotional decisions.
And I think his next opponent needs to be something special. Somebody undefeated. Somebody dangerous. It's Ilia Topuria. We gotta run it, but when do we run it is the question that I want to ask now. Look at that crafty smirk, dude. He knows something we don't about this matchup, but my take is on this situation. Islam Makhachev's next fight should be Ilia Topuria. But Ilia Topuria's got to do a title defense at lightweight, man. If Arman Sarukian, and this is coming up this weekend, Arman Sarukian versus Dan Hooker in Qatar.
With Islam's skill, strategy, and ambition, the possibilities for his next fight are intriguing. Fans are excited to see how his next matchup unfolds and whether the fighter who steps in can handle the combination of grappling, striking, and composure that Islam brings. One thing is clear, at 170 pounds, Islam Makhachev is a dominant force, and any opponent who wants to dethrone him will need to bring their absolute best.
Topuria, I don't know if you saw his tweet. He said you're like the most boring fighter in the UFC or something like that. I know you said to ask you about him after the fight at Media Day. Can you give us your full thoughts on a fight with him now?
No injury, nothing. I don't feel any pains. I'm ready. Who is gonna be next? Let's do this, and I will make it easy.
The UFC 170-pound division is now set for some fascinating developments, with Islam at the center of it all. His dominance is undeniable, his focus is unshakable, and the anticipation for his next fight continues to grow. Whoever steps up next will face a fighter who's truly in a league of his own.
When I take him down first time, I feel it's gonna be a long night, and I can do whatever I want in the ground, because I expect for him, like he gonna try to get up, but we're working. We always watch his all fights. He have couple like sweep, couple things in the ground, but I block him there, and that's why I make this easy.
That's the latest on Islam Makhachev's dominance and what could be next for the 170-pound king. Who do you think is the most deserving challenger? Comment below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Boxism for all the hottest UFC news and fight breakdowns.